Hi, my friends. Hope everyone's doing well. This isn't my usual stuff, but for whatever reason, there's a lot of cases that sit on my heart, but this one really, got to me. Probably most of y'all have seen it. I'm just going to share a little bit with you, and we can decide if we want to follow it further or not. That's really up to you all because you are the ones. But this happened last Thursday, June 15th, in New Richmond, Ohio, which is in Clermont County. It looks like it's like a small town or village. It seems like all of these things, they're like in the small town where nothing ever happens. I think we need to quit saying that because apparently lots happens in small towns. But so these boys, I still don't have their names. Unfortunately, I just have the perpetrator, their father, Chad Doerman. But hopefully we'll get the names of these precious babies. But they were 3, 4, and 7, and they loved to play baseball. Coaches spoke about them, and one of them was, I think he said maybe the 7-year-old was very gifted. And just typical boys, rambunctious, happy. There was a pastor that was kind enough to open the church for whomever, just so they could, come in, because it's stressful for the community. It's stressful for the neighbors who witnessed it, because the man did this unthinkable act in his yard, and the kids that knew them from school. So apparently this was planned. This dad took these 3 babies in the front yard, lined them up, and with his rifle, well, you know the rest. So one of them, the story says, not the story, it is said that one of them actually got away and ran off, but he went after him, dragged him back, and did what he did to the other 2. Unthinkable. And this had been planned. It had been planned. And the mom was in there trying to call. She called 911 and said, please, my babies. And it looks like in trying to save them, she was injured in her hand. There is an older sister, this man's stepdaughter. And so apparently it was the mom's child from another marriage, but she was the older sister. And apparently she was running to a neighbor's house and screaming for help, and somebody found her, and she, she told them what was happening and that they needed help. And so the mother went to the hospital, which I'm sure she's fine, but this is what they're left with. These babies right here. And no one seems to know why, but I think we'll figure out why. There's got to be something. And the fact that it was planned, I do know that one of the neighbors spoke and said that he was angry all the time. He was always yelling at the mom, probably yelling at the kids too. It even shows footage of the officers going to get him, and he's going, I'm not going to hurt anyone. I'm not going to hurt no one. I'm not going to hurt anyone. And I'm thinking, you just really hurt 3 people, but that's just unbelievable. But just like, Waukesha and all these communities, that's, in horrible situations, good does come forth. Although how do you unsee that? And they even said that the prosecutor, he's on, his bond is something like, is it $20 million, something like that? The prosecutor that was speaking of it, the incident or the tragedy, the attack, was in tears and said even the first responders who arrived there, they knew it was too late, but they were still trying. And everyone is visibly horrified, shaken, upset. And for whatever reason, it was on my heart to share it with you all. There's probably not going to be much funny I'm going to say, but I'm going to, well, just look at these pictures for a minute. Look at these beautiful, what adorable little boys. You know, I had a little boy in my class that I grew really attached to this past year, and he's been in foster homes. And look at these, you know, typical boys, baseball, look at them out there in the water, fishing. You just know they were like pile of energy. But look at them, how, I guess I want to know, just like the Durrell thing, why, but how will we ever know? How to, you know, maybe we'll find out, but how? You know, if you don't like your situation, get out of it. Why do people do this? I really do not understand it. It's just, you know, anyhow, this child I was talking about, he was actually going to be adopted. And so I was so excited for him. And then it didn't work out. And so like his last days of school, he was back in the, well, he doesn't even have a foster family. I don't want to, I think orphanage is too old a word to say, but you know, like with the county or the state or whatever, wherever they stay, which I'm sure is not a beautiful place. In my heart, just I can't get him off my mind. You know, breaks for him thinking about, will he get a good family? He's such a wonderfully happy boy. He's had to adjust to a lot of things, and it's just, and then you feel sad because my kid, I call him my kid, I'm talking about, doesn't have a home, and these boys had a home. It looks like a nice home. It looks like a rural place. It looks very, very nice. I mean, at least by my standards, I don't have high standards, but if it's not roach infested and I have AC and it's not filthy, I'm doing pretty well, you know. But, you know, it looked like they had a little camper, so they probably went camping, you know, just by looking at it, you know. And so they had a home, and this still happened to them. So I guess it would be fair to say that my little guy that I'm thinking about might be better off than these guys, which is just crazy. I know one of the coaches had said they were all at their game the night before, Wednesday night. I guess it was the 14th. They were all there, you know, as a family. And then this happens the next day, Thursday. I think it was sometime in the afternoon. And I'm just like, what the heck? Let me see if I can find a few things to share with you. Okay, this one, they're going to be talking to the boys' coaches.
On the diamond.
You can't help but think of all the memories you had.
This 7-year-old was so full of life.
Brandon Allen coached the Doermans' 4-year-old in T-ball.
They're more than teammates and they're more than friends. Like, you start to become more of a little family.
Dwayne Kuhn saw the picture in this 7-year-old as his baseball coach.
He was feisty, and when he's at bat, he's feisty, and I could see him on the mound just being a feisty little left-hander.
On Thursday, the unthinkable happened. These brothers, 3, 4, and 7, were
Look
shot
at them,
and killed.
guys. Look at
their
them.
Father, Chad Doerman, has been charged for their murders.
There he is.
Shock to these teens.
Look at him.
Just so tragic, you know, how things were cut short. Because I think the sky was the limit. You know, he was really, really gifted for a 4-year-old.
The day before the shooting, the whole family was at the field. Kristen Bennett, who runs the league, interacted with the children's dad.
He was telling the boys, get in their car seats, be safe. You would have not thought anything. Just normal, typical conversations with another family on the ball field.
So crazy.
As coaches, they guide players and help strategize. This one is too much to bear.
They were quintessential boys. They were good boys.
I get chills. Look at them.
Just everything you would want in a little guy that you're coaching.
The new Richmond Youth Sports Association is now accepting donations for the mother and the daughter to help them cope with the mental toll that this will take on them. We have information on our website on how you can donate. In Monroe Township, Rachel Hersheimer, WLWT News 5.
I don't even know. I have no idea. Don't want to give him too much coverage, but I kind of want y'all to hear what the prosecutor says. Here he is. It's interesting because he breaks down. It's like, What the hell is he crying about? It's just like when Darrell does his fake tears, or anybody. They can't be crying for what they did because they knew what they did. Are they always just crying for themselves? What? I don't get it.
Faced a judge and the reality of his crimes today as an arraignment on aggravated murder charges today. He appeared emotional for the entire hearing. He was dressed in a bulletproof vest. Doerman is accused of executing his children, ages 3, 4, and 7. Prosecutors say they have a full confession from Doerman. We also learned this. Prosecutors claim this wasn't a haphazard act, but that the murders had been planned. The children's mother was shot in the hand in the course of the murders as the children were apparently shot right in front of her. Prosecutors are saying this is the most heinous crime they have ever seen and described what happened.
But the evil horror of what we know is impossible to process. In an act of just incomprehensible cruelty, the father that stands before you lined up his 3 young boys, and he executed them in his own home with a rifle. They were ages 3, 4, and 7, Judge. In an act of desperation to save her children, the mother at some point grabbed the gun the father was wielding to attempt to protect them. We know that one of the boys was able to flee into a field near the home. And again, we know from his admission, father hunted that boy down, drug him back to the property, and executed him in front of witnesses.
Why? Why?
The mother was shot through the hand in her attempt to protect her children. Judge, I asked the court in setting this bond to just begin to imagine their fear.
Now the defense asked for a $75,000 bond, citing that he was employed, 32 years old, and he had co-signers, and they also said that he was married, using that as one of the reasons why he should get bond.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the prosecutors asked for the highest bond they say they have ever asked for in a case, $20 million, and the judge, J.C. Nagel, granted that. Reporting live, Ryan Hamrick, WLWT News 5.
Isn't that crazy? Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm going to see if I can find the neighbor, what the neighbor was saying. Okay, I found the one where the neighbor is speaking to the reporter.
Who was an asshole?
Richard Kincannon tells me Chad Doerman had a temper. He told me he witnessed him often treating his wife and kids poorly.
He felt like he was just angry, generally speaking.
He was every day. Heard him. There wasn't a day he didn't yell at his wife and kids out there.
What would he yell?
All kinds of shit. He was just angry, yelling at her all the time, treating her like.
Police arrested Doerman Thursday after he allegedly shot his wife in the hand, then systematically killed each of his young sons. Their dead bodies laid in the yard.
So when you look at that house now, what do you see?
You honestly want to know?
Yeah, I do.
I still see the babies sitting in the yard, laying in the yard. One was right there by the tree, right by the road, not even 20 feet from the road right there.
Awful.
This is where that dude laid him. Laid the one up there right beside that silver truck to the left of the tire, about 5 foot. That's all I see every time I come out here. That's why I try to look at that and focus on that.
A tent now covers a memorial of candles, cars, and cuddle toys. Kincannon tells me he's struggled to eat or sleep since the murders. He watched Chad Doerman cry at his arraignment and had no compassion for him whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. What's he crying about?
He planned it. It was premeditated. He shouldn't have a bond. He should never see daylight again, ever.
Absolutely.
And I think they should execute him the same way he did his sons. just the way he needs to go out.
Doerman's due back in court on June 26th. We will be there. Tanya ORourke, WCPO 9
June
News.
26th. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to share is a footage of them arresting Doerman. It is upsetting. You don't see anything. They have, like, blurs where you would see something. But you can, what I believe is the mother, you can hear her just, I don't think, if she was inside, I don't think at the time she knew for sure that they were all gone, but you can hear her, what I believe to be her anyhow. But I guess what I really want you all, other than the fact that it is, yes, very disturbing, I just want you all to check out his demeanor with the cops. It's just, I don't know, I'll never get any of this, but here we go.
Where's he at?
He's the shooter's on the porch.
Get him right here. You got him on the porch.
We've asked, that's the last place we've been told.
You show me your hands now! Stand up and walk towards us! Stand up now! Walk towards us! Stand up with your hands up!
I'm just stop for a minute. Look at that. See the little camper? I actually have a little camper like that. It's not as cute as that one, but it's a look at that. They have a beautiful big yard. I don't know. Out in the country. Some people don't like the country. I love the country, but all this space for the boys to run around with. I know everything seemingly seems good, but really happiness is from within, folks, isn't it? It really is. And it doesn't matter what you have or don't have, your happiness is from within. And this man was clearly not happy for whatever reason. Okay, here we go.
Stand up now!
His name is Chad Doerman. Chad Doerman.
I know, but we can't.
I can't even imagine what it'd be like going in on a situation like this.
You gotta find cover
Awful.
first. We ain't no good if we ain't safe ourselves. Hey, we need to come from this side where we can see him. Don't take cover behind him. We see him. We're going to approach from this side. We got cover. Right here.
6 covered, 29 and 63 type up.
Look at that little camper. So cute. And just
Show us your fucking hands.
seems like
now.
everything should be okay, but
Stand
it's
up.
not.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up now. Stand up. Stand up.
He's just sitting there with the rifle beside him. Now watch him.
Cover 21. It's in there.
There's got to be confirmed that there's people in the West End, and that's the shooter. It's not complying.
I got the victims. They have to show him the shooter. Completely sober. 63. We're 21. Get the EMS over here.
I think I can hear. I know that's got to be the one. The dogs are barking. The dogs are stressed out. Pets can sense things.
We on primary?
29, we got 3 things now. 3 kids down, 16.
63, we're 21. Have EMS respond over here.
Oh my gosh, bless her heart.
Robert 34, just started mass custody response. 63, do you want them to respond to the Laurel Lindale address? Where exactly do you need them?
We're right in the front yard.
She just, I heard they took He took his life.
What are you doing, man?
He took my life from me. He did.
I ain't gonna hurt you.
See, he was so
I ain't gonna hurt
calm.
nobody. You got anything on you? No, I ain't got nothing, man. Phone, that's it. I ain't mad. I ain't nothing.
I mean, would you know? I mean, if you hadn't known anything before all of this, and he's talking like that, would you have even known? I don't. Oh my God, hear the mother say, he took my life from me. He just took my life from me. My gosh. Why did he? Why did he do that? Okay.
Just make sure that dog don't come out. I don't think he'll bite you. Just don't reach for him and try to grab him and pet him. He won't bite you. What's going on, man? Nothing. Can I stand up? Just kind of uncomfortable. I'm gonna get you here. I ain't gonna do away. You can do whatever you want.
Nonchalant. Oh my gosh.
Here. You the only one else inside the house? What? You the only one else inside the house? Yeah. Sit down right here. My daughter, she ran her to the fire department. Sit down. It's my stepdaughter. Put him in the cage. Listen, look.
It's crazy, huh? Okay, the best way to end this is, I like this little clip because it's, instead of focusing on their horrible father and the fact that these 3 babies lost their lives, they're focusing on how they lived instead of how they died. So I like this. Here we go.
Murdered and their father arrested.
So tonight we're sharing the story of who these little boys were, not how they died. WLWT News 5's Karen Johnson is live in Batavia tonight with more. Hi, Karen.
Hey, Sheree, you know, their father, Chad Doerman, remains locked up here in the Claremont County Jail. He's being held on a $20 million bond. And while the ongoing investigation is one part of the story, tonight we are focusing on the little boys. They are much more than this tragedy. And tonight we are sharing the story of the happy lives they lived. Goofy, funny, kind-loving boys. Just some of the words loved ones used to describe the Doerman brothers. In these photos shared with us, you can see the love they had for one another, laughter they shared, and happy lives they lived, whether down by the water or playing with worms.
Well, they were rambunctious little boys. They were good kids. They loved playing the sport.
Baseball. Coaches say the middle guy was a gifted player for being just 4 years old.
I would often be the one throwing to him because it's still coach pitch. And just the seriousness of his eyes, like he would nod, no, I'm ready to go, let's go. Just really loved to play ball and played it the right way.
He followed in his older brother's footsteps. At 7 years old, he was known as a feisty left-hander who loved playing first base. His coach shared a story that stuck with him from a couple of years ago.
We were out in the field, and he was just such a personable kid. And it was the middle of the game, and they're 4 and 5 years old. And he looks at me and says, "Hey, do you want to come to my house and watch fireworks?"
Coaches say he was also a team player who encouraged teammates when they struck out.
Was just always there to pick somebody up, and always had a smile on his face, and trying to put a smile on everybody else's face.
Together, the 3, 4, and 7-year-olds were a pack who loved fiercely and often walked hand in hand through life. And let's not also forget their older sister and their mother, who, as one relative put it, loved her sons more than herself. She was a stay-at-home mom, and there have been several fundraising sites created to help them financially. You can find links on our website, WLWT.com. And at last check, 2 of the GoFundMes together have raised more than $190,000. Reporting live tonight in Batavia, Karen Johnson, WLWT News 5.
Wow, that's they're so cute, so heartbreaking for them and their mother and their sister. But once again, there's the love and support of the community. You can never forget that. And so there we go. So if you want me to continue covering this, let me know. if you're interested in it, I might still end up doing it anyhow, because of course nobody says you have to watch everything I put out, that's for sure. Only watch what you want to. I am not bossy or pushy about any of that stuff. So, but for some reason it just was really laying heavily on my heart, so I just decided to share it. And you all have a great day or evening whenever this comes out. I love you all. Be kind to one another, because that's pretty easy, doesn't cost you a thing. But don't forget to be kind to you too. See you the next time. Bye-bye.